Slavia Prague versus Arsenal. Prediction: waiting for the Gunners' spirit. Arsenal will travel to Slavia Prague in the Champions League, a match that is expected to be a difficult test for coach Mikel Arteta and his team. Despite possessing a superior quality squad and the class of one of the top teams in Europe, to leave Prague with 3 full points, the Gunners need to show the true spirit and coolness of a giant. On the other hand, Slavia Prague, under the leadership of coach Jindřich Trpišovský, has always been known for its disciplined, energetic playing style and is especially annoying when playing at home. The Czech representative has often caused surprises in the continental arena and will certainly try to make the most of the home field advantage to create a challenge for Arsenal. This is considered a match between the strength and class of Arsenal against the spirit and discomfort of Slavia Prague, promising to bring 90 minutes of excitement, tension, and many tactical calculations. Arsenal will have a challenging trip to Slavia Prague in the Champions League. This promises to be an attractive match when both teams maintain stable form, but the difference in class, quality of personnel, and experience in the European arena can play a decisive role. Slavia Prague, disciplined playing style, emphasizing safety. The Czech representative entered the match with high spirits after a 2-0 victory over Baník Ostrava in the domestic league. Under the leadership of coach Jindřich Trpišovský, Slavia Prague continued to maintain their familiar playing style, organizing a tight formation, prioritizing safety, then exploiting opportunities to launch direct attacks. In the most recent match, 2 goals by Tomáš Vlček and Mojmír Šajtel showed that Slavia does not depend on a specific individual, but is capable of sharing the burden of scoring. However, these goals mostly come from carefully prepared situations, rather than continuous explosions. A notable detail is that 5-6 of Slavia's most recent matches have only had one team score. That clearly reflects the football philosophy that coach Trpišovský is applying. Prioritize keeping clean sheets, limiting errors. Play solidly, somewhat cautious in deployment. Not a team that is too inclined to attack aggressively or take risks. In other words, when facing strong opponents, Slavia Prague will prioritize discipline, accepting fewer scoring opportunities in exchange for safety in the defensive system. Arsenal, the balance between control, discipline, and efficiency. On Arsenal's side, coach Mikel Arteta's team continues to show impressive performance on many fronts. The 2-0 victory over Burnley not only has a significant impact on the Premier League points tally, but also gives the team more confidence before entering the continental competition. The biggest highlight in the attack is Viktor Gyökeres, who opened the scoring early in the win over Burnley. The striker's dynamism, ability to move widely, and create pressure helps Arsenal diversify their attacking options. In addition, the presence of Declan Rice in midfield brings a stability, control, and the ability to escape pressing, the foundation for Arsenal to maintain a coherent game. The Gunners' defense is showing impressive solidity. In the last 6 matches, Arsenal kept a clean sheet 100%, scored 10 goals, did not concede any goals. This number reflects the mettle of a great team, knowing how to lock down the game and not let counterattack opportunities become dangerous. Expected match: Slavia Prague is expected to continue to choose a safe way to enter the game. Keep the team's distance low. 2 lines of defenders, midfielders layered to reduce the gap, looking for counterattacks or set pieces. On the contrary, Arsenal will aim to control the ball from the start, organize pressing to win the ball back quickly, maintain constant pressure on the opponent's field. With superior quality and personnel, ability to deploy the ball coherently, and sharpness of the pillars, Arsenal is still clearly rated as superior. The problem lies in patience, because Slavia will not easily reveal gaps from the start. General assessment: Slavia Prague have home advantage and high spirits, but being too tight makes it difficult for them to maintain the ability to exert continuous pressure against an opponent of superior quality. Arsenal possess a rare balance between offense and defense and have every reason to aim for a convincing victory to consolidate their position in the Champions League. Team news: Slavia Prague versus Arsenal. Slavia Prague will enter the match with quite a few personnel losses. The absence of six players including Dominik Javorcek, Filip Horsky, Igo Ogbu, Ivan Schranz, Petr Sevcik, and Thomas Holes has clearly affected coach Jindřich Trpišovsky's team in all three lines. The defense lacks Igo Ogbu, a factor with good fighting and covering ability, which means Slavia has to readjust its defensive structure. The midfield has lost two experienced names at the same time, Petr Sevcik and Thomas Holes, which significantly reduces the ability to rotate the ball and compete in the middle. Ivan Schranz, a player with the ability to create breakthroughs, is also unable to participate, affecting the plan to attack the flanks and change the state. This forces Slavia Prague to choose a more cautious style of play, avoiding risks, because the squad depth does not guarantee a high-intensity physical race for 90 minutes. Arsenal also does not have the strongest force. The suspension of midfielder Martin Zubimendi is a significant loss because he often takes on the role of regulating the tempo and escaping pressing in the midfield. His absence reduces the ability to control the ball in the middle. In addition, the injury list including Gabriel Jesus, Gabriel Martinelli, Kai Havertz, Martin Ødegaard, and Noni Madueke has a strong impact on the attack. Jesus and Martinelli's absence means Arsenal lacks speed and the ability to create breakthroughs in the final third of the field. Ødegaard and Havertz, two creative links, are absent at the same time, reducing the diversity in the way the ball is deployed and the ability to penetrate tight defensive blocks. Noni Madueke leaves Arsenal with fewer options on the wing, forcing the remaining key players to shoulder more responsibility. The positive point is that despite the lack of personnel, Arsenal still shows good rotation ability, especially in the midfield with flexibility from Rice, Nørgaard, and Marino. Slavia Prague versus Arsenal. Expected lineup. Slavia Prague. Expected: Markovic, Jan Borrell, Tomáš Vlček, David Zima, Youssoufa Mboji, David Moses, Christos Zafiris, Oscar Murphy, Dorley, Vasil Kusej, Tomas Chori, Lucas Provod. This lineup shows that Slavia will prioritize Borrell, Vlček. Zima is the framework to help maintain solidity in front of the penalty area. Zafiris. Dorley is responsible for keeping the rhythm and supporting the escape from pressing. Tomas Chori, with good physique, helps Slavia have more options for long balls, contesting, and quick counterattacks. The personnel arrangement shows that Slavia will choose a tight, counter-attacking style of play, taking advantage of set pieces. Arsenal. Expected: Raya, Jurriën Timber, Gabriel Magalhães, William Saliba, Ricardo Calafiori, Christian Nørgaard, Declan Rice, Bukayo Saka, Eberechi Eze, Leandro Trossard, Mikel Merino. Looking at this lineup, we can see defense. The central defenders, Saliba, Gabriel, are extremely solid. Timber and Calafiori support the control of the width of the field and participate in build-ups. Midfield, the trio of Rice, Nørgaard, Marino ensures a balance between competition, control, and creativity. Attack, the trio of Saka, Ez. Trossard is technical, team-oriented, and creates breakthroughs, suitable for breaking down low defenses. Despite the lack of many key players, Arsenal still maintains a stable tactical framework and high professional quality. Form and head-to-head records. Slavia Prague are unbeaten in their last 5 matches and have not conceded any goals, showing a stable and disciplined defense. However, 6 goals in 5 matches is not an impressive number, reflecting a more safe playing style than an aggressive one. Arsenal have won all 5 recent matches with 10 goals, showing a good scoring efficiency despite a lack of force. Not only is the attack effective, but Arsenal's defense has also maintained a very solid level. Head-to-head record. In the last 2 encounters, Slavia Prague drew 1, lost 1. Arsenal won 1, drew 1. The head-to-head record shows that Arsenal is still the favorite, but Slavia Prague is not an easy opponent to beat, especially when they play at home. Overall assessment: Slavia Prague have home advantage and are keeping consecutive clean sheets, but the absence of many important pillars makes it difficult for them to ensure competitiveness with Arsenal. Arsenal, despite lacking many big names in attack and midfield, still have superior squad quality and impressive form. The match will likely be played in a situation where Arsenal control the game. Slavia defend tightly, waiting for a counterattack. Goal prediction: Slavia Prague versus Arsenal. In the last 5 matches, Slavia Prague scored a total of 6 goals, averaging 1.2 goals per match. This number reflects a stable scoring ability, but not too explosive. Slavia often scores goals in a solid way, taking advantage of opportunities instead of pressuring opponents. On the other hand, Arsenal has 10 goals after 5 matches, averaging 2 goals per match, almost twice as high as Slavia Prague. This shows that the Gunners' attack is much more effective, especially in converting opportunities into goals. Considering the 2 most recent confrontations between the 2 teams, there were a total of 6 goals, averaging 3 goals per match. Maintaining a stable goal level in previous meetings shows that when Arsenal and Slavia face each other, the game is often more open, faster, and not as scarce as many other cautious European matches. With the current scoring performance of the 2 teams and a history of confrontations that favors a high number of goals, the possibility of the match having 3 or more goals is very high. Arsenal has a more effective attack and is likely to dominate in terms of the number of goals scored. Corner predictions: Slavia Prague versus Arsenal statistics show that Slavia Prague is the team that creates a lot of corners. Specifically, in the last 5 matches, they have been awarded 71 corners, an average of 14.2 per match, an extremely high number. This reflects a style of attacking from the wing, constantly putting pressure on the wing and creating many situations where the ball is blocked or forced out of play. Arsenal in the same period had 47 corners, an average of 9.4 per match. This is also a quite high number, showing that Arsenal possesses the ability to attack and finish a lot, especially with coordination on the wing or low crosses. However, when looking at the last 2 confrontations, there were only a total of 16 corners, an average of 8 per game. This shows that when the 2 teams face each other, the pace of the ball development on the wing is not as intense as when they meet other opponents. The reason may come from Arsenal having more ball control, causing the frequency of Slavia being pushed to the bottom wing to decrease significantly. Prediction: although each team usually creates many corners in other matches, when facing each other, the corners are significantly reduced. Therefore, the possibility of this match having less than 9 corners is very high. Slavia Prague versus Arsenal card prediction. In the last 5 matches, Slavia Prague received 23 yellow cards, an average of 4.6 cards per game, showing that they are an extremely aggressive team, not afraid to collide, especially when facing opponents with good ball control. In contrast, Arsenal only received 8 yellow cards in 5 matches, an average of 1.6 cards per match, showing a calm playing style, good control of situations, and few dangerous fouls. An easy point to notice: when the 2 teams face off, Slavia is often the team that defends a lot and is forced to foul to slow down Arsenal's attack. However, the total number of cards for both teams combined is not too high, because Arsenal rarely gets caught up in a tough style of play. Therefore, although Slavia tends to receive many cards, overall, the possibility of the match having less than 3 cards is still quite high, especially when Arsenal controls the match and limits collisions. Score prediction: Slavia Prague versus Arsenal. Slavia Prague 1. Arsenal 3. Arsenal has a better ability to score goals. Although lacking in force, they are still superior in class, experience, and game deployment. Slavia can take advantage of home field advantage to score a consolation goal, but it is difficult to avoid being overwhelmed by Arsenal in terms of score. The match between Slavia Prague and Arsenal promises to be an exciting match, where the bravery and class of the Gunners are put to the test right on Czech soil. Slavia Prague has home field advantage and impressive defensive form, but Arsenal, with its superior squad quality and European experience, is still rated higher in this confrontation. Will Slavia create a surprise, or will Arsenal continue to show their strength to consolidate their position in the Champions League? Let's wait and see. If you find Global Football Insights analysis and predictions useful, don't forget to like the video to support the editorial team. Comment your prediction on the match score. Subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell to not miss hot analysis videos every day. And now, goodbye, and see you again in the next news of Global Football Insight.